So the difference between divorce mediation and divorce litigation is as follows. In mediation, you're in a private setting, usually the mediator's office. In a contested divorce, you're in a courtroom. Contested divorce could take up to 14 months based on the tracking order, whereas a mediated divorce can take a matter of weeks. With a contested divorce, the cost is obviously very burdensome to both parties, in that really the only winners are the two attorneys that are involved in litigation and not the parties. The money would better be spent on their children versus the lawyers, and I think that divorce mediation accomplishes that goal. We have our own program here at Amaral and Associates. It's called FIT Divorce Mediation Program, FIT standing for Fast, Inexpensive, and Thorough. It usually involves the two parties meeting with me for an initial meeting. It usually takes no more than an hour, and I'm able to cover all of the topics in a divorce, whether it be alimony, child support, parenting plans, division of assets such as personal property and real estate, tax issues, medical insurance, uninsured medical insurance, and life insurance. All of those issues can usually be covered during the first hour or so. The program that we have is $999 per spouse. That includes the preparation of the divorce agreement, which is anywhere from 25 to 40 pages. It also includes the preparation of your financial statements, as well as the joint petition for a divorce and all of the statistical forms that are used to file your divorce. It usually takes 3 hours or less to mediate. It's very rare that it's more than 3 hours. And then the rest of the time is spent preparing your documents. Once we file the documents, it takes 6 to 8 weeks for a court date, and just the two parties would go in front of the judge for a hearing that lasts 5 minutes or less. The judge will ask you both 5 or 6 questions, which I will tell you what those questions are, and you'll know the answers because it's about your life. A contested case is much more involved. It involves one of the parties filing a complaint for a divorce. The other party then has 20 days to answer. Then you have a discovery period where the parties exchange what we call Rule 410 documents. So within 45 days after one of the spouses is served with the underlying divorce complaint, both parties will exchange what we call Rule 410 documents, which include bank statements for the past 3 years, tax returns, and so forth. One of the parties may also mark up the matter for what we call a motion for temporary orders, seeking something specific, such as someone to move out of the home, child support, some type of an advance, monetary advance from one spouse to the other. And then, there may be more than one motion for temporary orders. And then within 6 months, there's a pretrial, and then it may be put on for a further pretrial, and then a status conference date, and then possibly a trial. Although less than 3% of all cases end in trial, that would be the end result. So obviously it's a lot longer process, it's a lot more burdensome process, and it's a lot more expensive. Most lawyers will demand at least a $3,500 retainer, anywhere up to $3,500 to $20,000 as a retainer. And that's both parties retaining both their lawyers respectively. So as far as joint marital assets are concerned, it could be $7,000 to $8,000 of joint marital assets, up to $40,000 that the parties are going to be advancing, and that will be replenished. I can assure you, it's not always done within the retainer period, and it all depends on the two of you. So the biggest goal, in my opinion, for divorce mediation is that you're preserving what's ever left between the parties. Contested divorces can create a wedge between the parties, and a mediated divorce can heal wounds. It allows parties to vent, and it allows parties to continue to co-parent. You're always going to be the mother. There's always going to be a father, and there's always going to be children to co-parent, and that's the goal. So it's fast, it's inexpensive, and it's very thorough as far as the discovery and getting the financial information that's needed. We ensure when we do our mediations that all of that is covered.